Welcome to, I think this is episode 30. I don't know why I looked at my watch for the episode number, but anyway, I think it's episode 33 of Sim Sundays podcast. For all you YouTube viewers out there that are waiting for us, thank you for being patient. We had some technical issues and the magical AC checksum error reared its ugly head today on us. So got everything all sorted. Everyone can join the server now. We are good. Tom, how are you today, sir? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We did have some technical issues, but we battled through them.
Yes,
but it did mean that I could do a few more laps in the car that we're going to be driving later on in the episode, which was incredible. Actually, that's I think of all the cars that we've driven on the podcast, this is the one that has made the biggest immediate impact on me, and I've gone, "Ooh, yeah. This is going to be fun to race."
Yeah. I'm actually very excited about it because I've been practicing and practicing and practicing. Now I've been practicing on dirt roads, so obviously that'll throw me for a little bit of a loop, but super excited about that. So Tom, let's bring in our guest. Who do we have on the show today?
Okay, well, this week we have the awesome sim racing personality, sim racing hardware reviewer, and sim racing consultant, AussieStig. Welcome.
G'day, guys. How you going?
Doing absolutely fabulous now. We were at one point almost going to scrap the live show, but I'm very glad that you convinced us to keep on pushing and pushing. And we're here, we're live, we're ready. We're going to race later. Welcome to the show, Aussie. Does anyone ever shorten your name and accidentally call you Aussie like I just did?
well, I am an Aussie, so that doesn't really cause any problems, but yeah, Aussie's fine, AussieStig's fine, whatever you like, no worries.
I was thinking it was like Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, different spelling.
Yeah.
Well, so I have a love for Stig in general because, Top Gear, I watched every single episode. I even, went over with them when they became Grand Tour. Is the AussieStig name, is it anything in relation to that show, or is it just something of your own creation?
When I was looking for an avatar, I came across the South Park cartoon type thing, and I thought, let's put an Australian flag in the visor, and it just looked like AussieStig to me straight away. So
okay.
That's how I came up with the name AussieStig. So there's on location, no relation.
That's actually fabulous. The best online usernames, because, naming yourself once you decide that you want to come up with like a unique name that's not your normal everyday IRL name, I guess we'll say, it's the best ones are the ones that just come naturally, like after fidgeting for a little bit and you're like, oh, that's the one I'm going to stick with. That's amazing.
Yep.
I kind of like the fact that
it's stuck with me for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
I kind of like that you chose it because you thought it suited your avatar first and foremost, yep. before even it's suiting you.
Yeah, it sort of fits both ways because I am an Aussie and I like the Stig on Top Gear. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I thought why not put the two together and just call myself AussieStig.
That's amazing. And I went to your YouTube channel, as I always do for every single guest that we bring on the show, and I did the thing where I go to all of your videos and I just scroll until I reached the very end of it. And your end was 14 years ago. 14
Yep.
years ago, you created your YouTube channel. And that's not to say that you didn't remove some even older videos. 14 years ago, what was your thought when you started that channel?
Well, I haven't actually removed any content on there. So
Awesome.
what you see is what you get. What did I think in that time? I was hoping to create something around sim racing, because I've been sim racing for longer than 14 years, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought I'd start my own channel. AussieStig's also sort of a unique name on YouTube. So I thought we'll call it AussieStig Sim Racing. And it sort of rolled into, it went from real world cars. I've been on a few circuits with Porsches and BMWs on Spa and Zandvoort and a few other racetracks in Nordschleife. And it just rolled from real car stuff into simulation stuff. I ended up building my own rig out of MDF. I don't know if anyone watching would remember that.
I've been there. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a really nice MDF rig based on the Hyper simulator from Australia. It's a bit of a Formula cockpit sort of style, and then you had quite elaborate curves on it, and it was a folding front. And yeah, I more or less used the inspiration of that rig and created my first rig that way.
That's very cool, because I had the same experience when I was, I guess it wasn't really when I was young. It was like a couple years ago, when I was on the Logitech G25, I think it was. And I did the same thing where I went to Home Depot, which is a hardware store here in America for, I don't know if you guys have that over in your neck of the woods or your part of the world, but went there, got the MDF boards, and then just cut kind of unique curves into it just to make something. And, mine was actually more or less modeling a bunch of those arcade simulators that you would go to the actual arcades and you'd drive Cruisin' USA or, whatever game that they have sitting around there. So I did the very, very same thing. And I went through about 4 or 5 different iterations of custom, my own creation rigs. And then finally I was like, I want to get a real sim rig, but my setup actually ended up being incorporated into my working desk. So I just put everything just arbitrarily on my desk in a way. So right. I don't have quite what you have. You're sitting in that amazing D-box. And what's the frame? What brand is the frame that you have?
It's a Playseat Sensation Pro.
Okay. And
it's it dates back to about 2014, 2015. The one behind me here is the OG.
Nice.
The black one, if you can see it.
I can.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of it here.
Yeah.
It's the same version as this, except the very first version. And this is the latest 2020 version.
That's cool.
And it's equipped with D-Box, as I am an official ambassador for D-Box. They supplied us with a set of their Gen 3 quad motion system. And I'm pretty proud of the Playseat as well, because the design at the front end of it had a little bit of my input for it. So,
oh wow,
yeah, I thought that was
sim racing influencer to the 10th level, right?
Yeah,
influenced the actual creation of the rig. That's amazing. So,
well, I had some input.
The big question I have, because there's going to be a lot of viewers and listeners out there that have a sim rig already, because a lot of people purchase these. You have the next level up, which is the D-Box motion on the sim rig. And the big question that I think a lot of people are going to have in their minds is, when you went from a just static rig and you went to the D-Box motion-based rig, how did it change your sim racing experience?
Well, previous to having it myself in the studio, I have tried and tested a lot of different motion rigs out there. And so I was pretty used to the feel of the D-Box system. But it's another thing when you get to spend as much time as you like with it and dial it in the way you want it to be. And I found with dialing the D-Box system in, we've done it to the point that there's not really much roll on the rig itself. It's more heave and pitch. Oh. So it's more in line with the real car. And I have driven real cars on circuits, so the the feeling that I'm trying to replicate is more on that side of it.
Sure.
I don't need the exaggerated roll to give you the idea. You're going through the corners. I know what that's supposed to feel like. So
you clearly haven't driven a 4KA around Cadwell Park, because I can assure you there is some roll.
Especially if you're on our sim racing team or on our real racing team and your name is Toby, he knows extra amounts of roll.
Yeah, and when D-Box bring out the V6s where you actually can go upside down, then you'll be like, oh yeah, no, this is exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, that'll be funny.
So when you went in, it's interesting because you did mention, when you can spend as much time as you want with the D-Box setup, right? It's because Tom and I were lucky enough to be able to go to Sim Racing Expo, and some of the viewers and listeners, I'm sure, also got to. And you can try out anything you want. So you can try the D-Box stuff. You can try the crazy Bizarro stuff where you're suspended on these hydraulic lifts and everything like that. You can try all that stuff, but it feels cool in the moment, of course. But does it actually improve your sim racing abilities? Do you think it's improved your racing craft at all?
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely. Nice. And with the addition of VR, you're not seeing me using VR today, but 99% of the time I race in VR, and the motion fills in that missing gap. When you're sim racing, you have the motion cues cued to the car. You have the VR view that you can look around inside the car and around on the track. It just fills in all the gaps, and then you get a totally immersive experience, and that makes you, I wouldn't say it gives you a super advantage, but it gives you an edge, or gives me an edge when I'm driving.
Well, you have a little bit more of the knowledge and feel of everything. I'd be very curious to see if someone who gets motion sickness from VR, because a lot of people get motion sickness from VR, but it's because they're not feeling all of the sensations that they're expecting to feel, so their brain kind of like messes with them and they get nausea, right? So I wonder if a D-Box system paired with VR for anybody who does have a little bit of a queasy stomach when they're doing VR, I wonder if that would cure that problem at all.
I think
you would get the sensations, right?
Yeah, the motion would help. I would believe the motion would help because it's moving with what you're seeing on the screen. And if you have a high refresh rate VR headset, like 90 or 120 hertz, then there's very little screen door effect, and you have a good clear view of the track. I think the motion helps with the feeling like you're driving in a real car, and that gives you the, I guess it tricks your brain a little bit to think that you're actually moving. And that's also a part of the immersion. Once you feel like you're actually in it and you're moving with the car, it just feels, for me, it feels more realistic. It's a more realistic experience, and that's what I'm about.
It seems so backwards, if you will, to say, okay, well, if you get sick with VR, get more motion added to your rig, and then you might not experience the queasiness that you do. It just seems like it would be the opposite of what you would actually want to do to cure nausea.
I think people that have a predisposition to like seasickness or car sickness, air sickness, any of those ailments that you would have if you can't stand the motion of a plane, like in turbulence and things like that. I think that those people wouldn't be so comfortable in VR. But people that just don't get car sick, seasick, air sick, I think that they have a bit more of an advantage when they try VR for the first time.
That's interesting. I've used the Oculus Quest for VR and drove with it, and I'm typically in a triples setup, but for some reason I never want to put the VR headset on, and it's more or less just because I like to physically see everything that I'm doing. It feels a little weird, like when I'm reaching for the handbrake. I know where the handbrake is, and it's not like I miss it, for the reach. But it's almost, I don't know, it feels like there's this missing aspect of the whole rig experience, at least in my experience, where I want to physically see things for some reason.
I get that. I see your point of view there. On the other hand, and that's not to disagree with you, it's just my perspective then. I have everything that I need mapped to the wheel, and all the buttons that I need to push are on the wheel, and I know exactly where the shifter is when I'm shifting.
Yeah.
So I don't miss anything. I don't miss the shifts. I don't miss the buttons. And there's not really much else you need to do. You can adjust the brake bias on the fly if you want. With these, the new wheels.
Well, here's a question. So do you switch wheels that often? Like, do you take I think you have a Formula style wheel on there, right? It's kind of small.
Right now, yeah. Yep.
So do you switch wheels very often, or are you typically on the same wheel all the time?
No, I switch wheels a lot because I drive a lot of different cars.
See, okay.
And when I'm driving a car that has like a GT or a Formula wheel, that's what I'll use. I won't use the same wheel for each car. Driving, like, for instance, the Caterham with a right-hand drive Caterham. So I've got, on this rig, I've got two gear shift mounts. Mm-hmm. So I can have left-hand shift or right-hand shift. So I can be on the left side of the car or the right side of the car.
Right, that makes sense. And the reason I ask if you switch wheels often, being a VR racer, is because for me, I only have two wheels, and there are times where I've raced with, like this one, the round one, that I have so much that I forget what I've had put in my maps for on my Formula wheel. So I'm in a GT car going, wait, what button did I make the ABS, or which side did I make the windshield wiper? Something that you don't use very often, right? And I'll have to, like, physically look, because I have the little button stickers on there. So I'll have to physically look at the button, find out, oh, the wiper one's over on the right-hand side, the far button from me. And in VR, I'd be like, oh no, I gotta look outside my view real quick and find the button or something.
No, I map mine all the same.
Okay.
So all the wheels have, if they've got the same amount of buttons or the same functions in each car, then I map them all the same. So that's for lucky. Me, for instance, if I want to turn the headlights on, I know it's the second button from the left. Yeah. So I can turn the headlights on and off. Flash the headlights is second from the right. If I want to reset the VR view, I hit the two innermost buttons at the same time, and I reset the VR view. Brake bias is on the on the right hand funky switch, and then seat up and down, back and forward is on the left.
Yeah, okay.
So there's not really much else you have to do.
Yeah, I guess the biggest problem that I have with the Formula Fanatec versus the BMW Fanatec is that the BMW has so fewer buttons. There's no rotaries, there's no flick switches or anything like that. There's just a collection of buttons, and the funky switch really are the extent of the BMW wheel. So there's a lot of things that I just wouldn't be able to map. So I have a Stream Deck over on my side where I have the buttons mapped to specific buttons there, so I can fill in the gaps, if you will.
Well, that's handy, yeah. Absolutely.
So, but that's interesting. I definitely feel a difference when you're racing in VR, because you can like look outside the window and physically move closer to, like, the window and see a different perspective in the car. Whereas, like, I still try to do it in my triple setup where I lean differently because I want to, like, look around a pillar in the car, but you just can't do that unless you're in VR. So
I think mirrors are the biggest improvement in VR. Being able to check your mirrors and actually showing you what you want to see is incredible. But here's a question for you, Aussie. What would you say is the best VR headset for sim racing, and why?
At the moment, the best I've tried, and that was at the Expo in Nuremberg, was the Varjo headset from Finland. That has the best resolution at the moment. I have still rocking a CV1, an Oculus CV1, and also have a Reverb G2. And I would place the Reverb G2 just under the Varjo for sim racing.
Oh, interesting.
So they're the
is
two.
the refresh rate the most important factor?
Well, it gives you a clearer picture.
Yeah.
It's more, the resolution is more of a game changer than the actual refresh rate. If you have a high resolution screens for your eyes, you just can see further in the distance, and it's a lot crisper. And that's what I found with the Varjo. That was probably the best experience I've had in VR at the moment. I think there is the X-Tol. It's a military grade VR unit, but they're crazy expensive.
It's funny when they say military grade aluminum. I'm like, is that better than, like, Is that better than normal aluminum?
I can tell you from my 10 years in the military grade often means same or worse quality for 10 times the price.
Not with X-Tol. It's an expensive piece of kit, and it's got the highest resolution you can get. So,
well,
interesting.
In addition to, so resolution and refresh rate is obviously going to have a massive impact on your PC, right? So out of the two headsets that you do have, do you have like a beastly PC to be able to run these things?
Well, I'm still running a 2080 Ti.
Okay.
And I mean that copes with pretty much everything. I don't know how to go. I don't know how to go with the Vario. They told me you need a minimum of a 3070 or something in that area.
Okay,
but 2080 Ti is pretty good.
Sim racers are just like most gamers, where we believe that the moment the new card comes out, our great last gen card is just rubbish and gross and just the worst card ever. I know I used rubbish. Thanks, Tom. I'm an American using the term rubbish now. But we always want the best in the top of the line stuff. So I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
No power.
Oh, he I think
run out of power.
In his headset, he ran out of power on there. So that's that's not exactly the optimal situation there. But
pause.
Oh my God, we're live. Right. Chris, why don't we do this? Why don't we why don't you and I jump onto the track while Aussie fixes the headphone situation, and then by the time he's fixed it, we can continue the chat on the track.
That works for me.
Mike is in the background now, furiously sweating, like, oh my God, quick, the scenes.
What's happening
Change the scenes.
So for the YouTube people, we're going to go into the race now. And then for any of our audio listeners, we're just going to include some of the race conversation that we get to.
It's far more fragmented and chaotic.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit different. So we're actually going to be at, I don't know why this says Silverstone GP in Renault.
Oh, you need to give it a refresh. We're at Mugello. I'm going to wait in the pit lane for you because I'm going to drive behind you, which is a bit novel, I will admit. It could be fun.
So we're going to Mugello in what you deem to be one of your new favorite cars, the Renault RS0101. Is it an
yeah.
O or is it
Do you know what? The first thing I thought of when I saw this car was, you've seen Drive to Survive, right, Chris?
Yeah, of course. When the new season's coming, I'm super excited.
I'm very excited too.
I know this is completely unrelated to anything podcast, but my wife, I was like, okay, so there's this show, Drive to Survive. It's got a bunch of drama like all the shows that you watch, but I think it might be your gateway into watching some racing with me. And she's like, yeah, let's try it. So
hello. That's confirmation.
From season 1 on, and we're going to try to watch Drive to Survive together and, see if I can get her into racing a little bit more.
Well, there's the scene, I think it's in season 2. Typical, you've just loaded in. I thought I'd go around and do a lap and catch you up. So season 2, Daniel Ricciardo, he leaves Red Bull and obviously he goes across to Renault. And obviously previously, I think he had like an Aston Martin company car. And then in this particular episode, he arrives at Renault and he gets given the company car. And of course, it's a Renault. It looks very similar to this car that we're driving now. But I saw it and thought, oof, that's a tough reminder of Daniel Ricciardo's career move.
Yeah, which was a bad one.
Poor guy. I'm just coming around now, so if you hold on, I'll go around behind you.
I'll go kind of slow.
Oh yeah. That's a tactical decision, is it?
Yeah, So I was mentioning something to Aussie before we started when we were talking about driving this car, and there's an interesting thing for me as an American, and I don't know if anyone else struggles with this as well, but Renault and was it Puget? Or is it J? Is it G or J for Puget? Puget?
Peugeot. Puget.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Puget?
That's what I call it, because I don't know them at all.
I'm sorry, that's I shouldn't laugh, but that is funny. Puget.
No, because we don't have them. So anyway.
You're not missing out on anything.
Since we don't have them at all, right? I never race their cars ever.
Do they even have any race cars?
I don't know. Well,
I think they have some classic like hot hatches from the 90s.
They have cars in AC.
Peugeot 206 GTI, I think. I'm thinking back to my VHS box set of Top Gear now.
Yeah, they have cars in AC, of course, because there's anything in this game. But I just don't race any of the brands that I just don't know. Because I'm like, I don't know, I'll pick a Toyota instead. And it could be a great car, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure which Peugeots are in AC, to be honest. I can't say I've ever driven one.
Pretty sure there's like a little hatchback or something in here.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, well, that's probably the one I was thinking of.
I also race WSS, and I just pick random time trial things in WSS, so it might have just been, it happened to be listed on there, one of the mod cars, you know.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to clip the Pergut statement for this week's social media, Chris.
That's literally what I've called it my whole life.
Well, today's the first day of the rest of your life.
And you know what's funny? I've probably heard people say the name right and just assume they were talking about something else.
But they were speaking in French. You're like, I didn't know he spoke French.
I have no idea what they're talking about. I've never seen that car brand, but that's not surprising. I haven't seen every car brand in the world, so.
Okay, after I was giving it the big one, I am now struggling to catch up with you.
Is it winter time in your game as well?
No, I turn off the weather settings.
Yeah, it's snow and winter for me.
Yeah, I have mine set to what it is like in the real world.
Hey, Aussie, you back with us?
Yeah, mate.
Awesome. We just decided to get on the track and everything while you got your headset sorted, so we're all good. We managed to throw, well, I think I've only gone around once at the moment.
I'm desperately trying to catch him. Come join us.
Come join, for sure.
So there was a question in the chat earlier, which I thought was a really good question, which was, you drive a lot of cars, right? In your channel, you explore lots of different cars, and we were just talking then when you were changing your headphones about Chris likes to mix up his cars and do different time trials and hot laps. What's your favorite car of all time in any simulator ever? An easy question.
Easy question, easy answer too.
Okay.
The Ferrari F2004 in a Assetto Corsa.
Classic. Yeah, that's so much fun.
Good.
And there's always some public lobbies that you can just jump into with that car as well.
Yep, it's an awesome car, lots of grip. It has got traction control, but it's just super fast.
I can listen to that car's engine all day. It's
it
a
screams.
Beautiful sound.
Yeah. How are you getting on with this RS car?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Although I did say that I was going to catch Chris up, and I'm really struggling to catch Chris up.
It's got bags of grip, mate.
It does. It does. And you can just send it over the curbs as well.
Yep. I'm
so
not
why did you choose this car?
For you guys, am I?
No, we can't hear you at all.
I didn't choose it, mate.
Well, you shortlisted it, right?
His community chose it.
The community chose it. I put out a few different polls, and this one came up trumps.
But you did mention that you just won a championship in this car, so
that's right, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that could be part of the reasoning where they just really enjoyed watching you drive it, because it sounds like you were pretty good at driving it. So,
well, if you practice a lot, you get really good at things. And
yeah, that's true.
This car really is, like Tom keeps saying, it's got so much grip and it's just really drivable. You can chuck it into a corner, hit the brakes just before the apex, and you can really turn in. And with these brakes that I'm using now, the AussieStig Invictus, it's just gives you so much confidence to actually drive fast.
So this week I changed from Fanatec V3s and I got the Heusenfeld Sprints, and it was
good car.
I'm not even the best driver. I just I'm more of a techie, and that's why I wanted to switch up. But I noticed a difference immediately in the way that I just knew and felt confident in the braking.
Yep. You can see on this on the rig how I'm driving it now. There's hardly any roll when I go around a corner. It's really just the bumps in the track and then a little bit of braking force and acceleration, and that's it.
So it's subtle, but it gives you a lot of data.
Yeah.
You know,
So
that fact has come up a couple times on the podcast where, you know, we're sim racers and we almost always overdo it in feedback, whether it be a wheelbase, probably a bunch of base shakers and all the different things that we can add to a rig to quote unquote make it more real. But when it comes down to it, you should really be configuring your stuff kind of like you did, Aussie, is where you get the necessary data but don't overdo it.
Yeah, you don't need all the extremes. You just need to get the information through the seat. And with the D-Box system as well, it's not just the motion system, it's also haptic. So you can get like engine vibration, ABS vibration in the front and rear. There's a lot of effects that come into it. A bit wide there. I haven't seen any blokes on the track in front of me yet.
I've just all of a sudden hit a competitive streak, and I'm desperate to catch up to Chris. He's
you know what? I'll slow down. I'll slow down. I'll wait for you to catch up.
Let's just meet at the grid.
No!
What's happening?
All right, we're combining.
Okay, where are we?
I'm just coming around onto the. I'll be coming around onto the start-finish straight very shortly.
Yeah, I'm here right now. I'm lining up on the grid.
I'm coming around the back now, so just in the back section.
I love the amount of engine braking you can do with this car.
Yeah, it's unreal. And the steering's so crisp, so precise.
It really is.
It just turns in. You just turn the wheel. You can almost think it around the corner.
Oh, you guys have green grass and all that prettiness. I have white everything. Winter.
I overshot my spot.
Yeah, you did.
Are you in the winter there, Chris?
Yeah, I got white grass. It's cold everywhere. And
okay, I'm coming around to the main straight now.
Okay, I think we appear to be gridding up.
Okay, let's grid up.
Okay,
so
Chris is going to get some nice cold tires. Beautiful.
Yeah,
exactly what I needed.
Oh, but let's do a standing start.
They're 45 degrees right now.
No.
Look at this, 3 AussieStig cars.
Beautiful. Right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh,
hey, what's that?
Wheel spin here. Oh, we're doing rallycross style racing? Okay.
No. I don't actually usually see the back of my car.
What do you think?
Looks good. It's got a nice backside.
It's good design. Did you design it yourself?
Yeah, I came up with the actual design of the livery. Look. Who am I behind? Am I behind Tom, I think?
That's me.
Yeah.
I like how you can just kind of coax it around the corners with the throttle.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't really race on a 2D screen, so it's still fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's really good.
We've had one person, Jeff McConey, do VR while on the podcast, and I don't know, because I also like to stream sim racing, so I don't know. VR is it's one of those things where I know it's cooler and I know the immersion you get from it, but for some reason I can never commit myself to picking up that Oculus Quest and throwing it on.
It just feels like an extra step, isn't it?
It does a little bit, yeah. Did you guys change your setups at all?
The sound. No, not at all.
Me either. Not that I'd know necessarily what to do. Actually, that's a great question. Aussie, so are you great at setups, or do you get your setups from somewhere else?
Actually, you know what? My online races, I make it easy for everyone. I'll give them fixed setups.
Nice, okay.
So they can all have the same chances, all have the same setup and the same sort of car reaction. So it makes it fairer, I think, because there's a lot of people that can't do setups. I mean,
I am one of them.
Yeah, I've got the basic gist of setups, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I know what to do, but I prefer to do fixed setups because it makes it fairer for everyone else that can't do it.
Yeah, I've been racing a lot of fixed setups because, I'm on the lower ranks in iRacing right now, so most of the races are fixed. But I do notice that the couple of times that I've raced non-fixed setup, there's something where the car is just way faster, and I'm like, well, that's got to be. It's a combination between driving skill and setup, but obviously there's times where you're like, well, I wish I could set up the car so I at least feel like I have some confidence in what's going on with all these numbers and inputs. There's just so many options.
Like the rebound on the suspension and stuff like that is sort of all scientific almost.
Yeah, exactly. And then knowing the relationship between, if you change one thing, you also have to change this other thing. It's just so many things to deal with.
Yeah, I'm running the setup that I ran in my championship. I'm running that now, and I find that gave me good braking.
Yeah, it felt strong.
I'm taking it a bit easier though, because I don't want to embarrass myself and go off the track.
It's okay. It's okay. Those are the better.
You can really turn this car with the gears as well. I'm noticing.
Yeah,
you can you can take a shallower line into a corner, and then just before the apex, downshift to hit the apex before powering out.
Yeah, and it rotates really nicely as well. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna have to pit for some fuel here soon.
I love this, the double right-hander here. You just kind of have to absolutely smash off the limiter, just staying in fourth the whole way around.
Or you can take fifth if you're brave.
Well, I just feel like you lose a bit of the rotation. Oh, I've run out of fuel.
Depends how much speed you can keep up with it. Oh, I got past you.
You did. Fair and square. Right.
Not really if you run out of fuel.
Where are you guys?
Strategy problems.
I'll wait for you guys to come around.
Was it Luke Bennett or Stapleton that said skill issue?
Skill issue. I think it was Robbie.
Yeah.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Like all casual, he said it too. It's just skill issue.
He's like, yeah, I've seen this before. I know what this is.
Are we going to pit now or what?
I'm waiting on the start-finish straight to come race with you.
All right.
Unless we wait for Chris. Wait for Chris. Okay.
Oh, you're on the start-finish straight.
How much fuel do I have?
On my
Who's
way.
doing the donuts there?
That's me. I'm going to come to the start-finish straight and meet you.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, I forgot that happens.
You went backwards too long.
Right, I'll have to do a pit lane start. I've got 30 seconds. Oh, God. Right, Chris, ask a question. We've got 30 seconds to film.
You have a penalty in a practice session? Okay.
Yeah, what's that about?
What's going on? Just let them go. Grief, stewards, what's going on here? So
do we need to go back to the pits?
No, we're all good. We're all good.
No,
yeah, but I think I'm out of fuel. I'm out of fuel, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's all start from the pits. We'll do a pit lane start. It's different. It'll be like the old style Le Mans. We'll all run to the cars.
How many litres have you got?
I'm just using the default setup. So
which is 30.
Let's have a look. It drinks it then, if that's all it is.
That's estimated 8.6 laps.
Seven laps. Okay, yeah. I might go to like 40 litres then.
All right, we'll do 40.
Okay. Right. I'm ready when you are. And should we do a start out of the pits? This will be different.
Sure.
Everyone ready?
Yep, go for it.
3, 2, 1, go.
I was driving through other people.
Pit limiter. Just run the pit limiter the whole race.
Right, let's do this. Oh,
Sorry,
these cars look great together.
I didn't respect the blue line, the white line, sorry.
I'm not really sure what the rules are when you use the pit lane as the start of the race, to be fair.
We went for it. Oh, I don't have crew chief in my ear saying on the left. Clear left.
Yes, I love these corners. I love it in any car, but in this car, I just feel like you're bouncing off the rev limiter the whole time. Just to get the car in. And then you can almost like turn, when you've got the wheel over to the right, you can almost like turn left with your right foot.
Yeah. You can really lean on this car. It's so stable.
That's it, all the track. It's beautiful. I do love Mugello, it's so flowing.
Yeah.
It works
really
nicely.
nice.
It's horrible with understeery cars.
That was weird.
I like that you can get this into 7th gear on the straight, which is... Oh, he's going to slipstream me.
I'm going to try.
Get him.
I think you've got less downforce because I cannot keep up.
You're just about to go
there we
into
go. There we go.
7th gear.
Just about catching up.
7th gear. Use the torque of the engine. It's also something with VR, you can really pick the braking points a lot earlier than when you're driving on the screen.
I'll tell you what, I could get pretty addicted to this racing.
It's a lot of fun, mate. Okay, let's see if we can go flat out around here. Oh, too wide.
Oh, I followed you around though.
Too wide, too wide.
I followed you there.
Yes, yeah, that happens, doesn't it? It's really something.
Oh, Chris has joined the fight.
Good, good.
All I need is for you guys to mess up a little bit.
Well, we just did. In tandem, it's like a beautiful dance.
Oh, what was that? I think I had a bit of net code there.
Yeah, I saw you
definitely.
flying off.
You disappeared for a moment, and I was like, what's he doing?
Now Tom's got me. But you'll have to go
Get on the main straight. Oh,
have to go the long way
around. Just take the long way around. I've got it.
Yeah, go the long way round, mate.
Oh, I broke really late.
So did I. So did I.
Oh no. I thought I had space. I was sneaking my nose up the inside. Oh, but Chris has punished me there.
Can happen. Go for it, mate.
All right, Chris, I'm going to get you back for that.
Well, I figured you did it to him, so let you join him on the side. Oop. Oh, I was looking at my rear view mirror.
Oh, what's this? Rallycross.
It's all the pressure, isn't
That's what I'm trying.
Oh, Aussie's going to get both of us.
Yeah, I look in the rear view too much.
It's because you're always overtaking people, right?
Tell you what, the car looks so nice.
It really does. It looks good with all three of them. Oh, close the door over there, Chris.
Oop.
Oh,
all over the road.
He's held it. What's going to happen here then? Oh, you broke early. Happy days.
I heard my engine in my left ear.
This is a bit of fun, guys.
This is really good. Absolutely. Did you do this track in your championship? Did you do this? Did you do Mugello in your championship in this car?
Oh. I need to start really diving into road racing. Honestly.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'll just all of a sudden be decent at road racing on one of the podcasts and take everyone by surprise.
Okay, well, if we can't hear him, we'd have to communicate with him on the track.
There's one
he's going
way.
for it. He's going for it.
His car, like, every once in a while, his car will disappear and then look like it crashed on the side of the road.
It makes me very nervous.
I'm like, did he mess up? What?
Oh, I'm catching him. I'm catching him.
Yeah, you guys are significantly quicker.
This is a lot of fun. This is up there for best car we've driven on the podcast.
Are you sure you did? You were really addicted to those GP laps, old school cars. Did you ever?
Yeah, but they would
sound again. Sorry,
they
guys.
were difficult. Oh, there we go. We've got you back now.
We're back. We can hear you again.
I'm going to pit.
Oh no! Don't pit. Ah!
Net code.
Oh no! Oh, you could just put the back end round. Oh, this is so much fun.
Whoa!
Got ya! Got ya! Still counts. It still counts.
Can you hear me, guys?
We can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Clear.
You still there?
Yeah, yep. We are loud and clear.
I don't think he can hear us.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, I think what the best course of action here, just because we keep repeating on technical audio issues and things, is just to kind of close out the show for tonight.
I got you. I got you.
You got us now.
Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
we can continue racing, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to shut down the show just because we keep experiencing audio cut-ins and cutouts and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a fragmented experience for the viewers right now. So that's going to do it for this episode of Sim Sundays. Aussie, if you can hear us, can you hear us now? Okay.
Yep.
Where can people find you online to join championships or, just race with you in general or see your content?
Sure. You can see me on my YouTube channel, AussieStig Sim Racing, and that's the same across all social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And races we do on the sim racing system, the SRS system. It's free to join, no fees. Anyone's welcome. And that series that I host is every week on Thursday nights.
Okay.
European time. And this series we're racing with the RSS F3 V6 with the halo.
Nice.
So there is a halo in front of you. And with VR, that's not a problem.
You can just look around it.
Yeah, you can just look around it.
That's very good. That's a good point.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of, actually, just quickly on that one, a few people that were joining in the server last week, they were concerned about using a single screen and not being able to see around the halo.
Mhm.
So there's a setting in the game, in the Assetto Corsa, that you can actually disable the halo for that car. And
No way. Immersion all day. Keep it there.
Yeah, I reckon leave it there, mate. It should be there. That's what it was made with. But
Okay.
they can reach me there. And other than that, I'm on LinkedIn as well under Mazza Consultancy. And if you have any technical questions or want to know something about sim racing hardware, I'm the go-to person.
Very, very cool. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show today. Tom,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I
anything
appreciate the
from
time.
you, sir?
No, thank you very much for your time. Obviously, we had a couple of little technical issues. We worked them through, and I think that is probably the most fun car that we've driven on the podcast so far. That is brilliant. I mean, I might just stay here all night and just race that car because that is fantastic. So, thank you for introducing us to the RS. That was great.
No worries, mate. Come back anytime. I've got plenty of different cars to choose from.
Great.
Awesome. Well, if you want to follow Sim Sundays, it's of course at Sim Sundays on YouTube, and then we're pretty much Grid Finder everywhere else on social media to keep up with us. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. We thank the sponsor Trak Racer for providing the rig that Tom is sitting in right now. We appreciate the show sponsorship. But until next week, guys, we will see you later. Thanks.
Goodbye.
See you later, guys.